ready for your next comic? Chris Wright!
How we doing? I would say it's great to see you all, but these lights are blinding, so it's tough. They say that tough times build character, and if that's true, I have the character of a golden doodle in a gated community. One that has a special pillow on the bed and gets tucked in at night. I always knew I was a little sheltered growing up, so the fact that I found a way up here truly is a miracle. Guys aren't usually the ones who get to say this, but my parents did everything they could to keep me off the stage. I even ended up on the pole. How was I supposed to turn out funny when since 9 years old, I've had a Roth IRA? I am the biggest comeback since Broncos became cool to drive again. My parents knew where to draw the line, though, because any more validation growing up, and this would be a podcast instead. Welcome to Behind the Picket Fence. I'm your host, Chris Wright, coming to you with a silver spoon wedged firmly in my mouth. It is amazing how soft my parents made me in the span of one generation. Like ice cream in July. I am the real Mr. Softy. My grandfather was an immigrant who spent his life in Queens. And, yeah, good. I see he has friends here. And not the new Long Island City Queens. I mean the Queens that tolerated old LaGuardia. Even Spirit thought that place was a dump. I would have stayed in Queens too if I had to leave through old LaGuardia. I get it. It makes sense. I don't even get the same Mets, though. Growing up, our version of hello when we got to my grandpa's house was just yelling, "The Mets suck!" back and forth until one of us stopped. But now they don't suck, and I don't know how to say hello to my family. It's tearing us apart. How old were you when you lost your childhood sense of wonder? I was 27. The culprit was a red-eye flight. As a child, I thought that red-eye flights were something that really cool, important adults went on when they were doing really cool, important adult things. And they sounded like magic. I mean, here I am, going to sleep in my bed, waking up in my bed. These cool, important adults are going to sleep in the air and waking up in Cleveland for a conference. Wow. So when little 27-year-old me was booking his first red eye, feeling like he made it in the world, giddy with the thought of getting to JFK Airport before the traffic picked up. How naive can you get? So it's the night of the red eye. I'm having the time of my life, bursting with excitement for my journey to new, gentrified Queens. I am getting 8 hours of sleep. Who cares that it's a 6-hour flight? It feels like Christmas Eve. We get on the plane. The flight attendant begins her bedtime story. And that's when I realize that a red eye is not all it's cracked up to be. I mean, really, who starts the announcements with, "Is there a doctor on board?" Read the room, lady. We're going to New York. We know how to mind our business. The guy next to me didn't look up from his Sudoku, and he was in scrubs. But the flight attendant goes on, fighting the melatonin in my veins like the worst auctioneer in the world. "Okay, no doctors. Is there a nurse in the audience? Do we have a nurse? Okay, is anyone in med school? Is anyone applying to med school? It'll look great, I promise. Do we have a hypochondriac out there even?" At this point, even the pilot's sick of her, and he steers us right into turbulence to tell us to shut up. Thanksgiving is coming up, and it is the biggest holiday for comics and racist relatives. For us, the comics, it is our best chance for fresh material all year. Who at the kids' table will slip up and tell me about their parents' drug habits? Will my uncle not like my mustache? You know, because it's black. The guy gets me a straight razor and hair dye for Christmas every year. Or will someone tell my grandmother that her turkey is dry and she throws the turkey and the accuser straight into the hot tub? You never know what you're gonna get. Before I go home for the holidays each year, I try to do something rugged to toughen up. You know, I'm aiming for ice cream in late October. This year, the activity was camping, which means that I paid to get drunk and go outside and sleep. Remember, kids, paying for it is the difference between camping and sparkling economic hardship. When we got to the campsite, so going camping, when we get, I always thought that nature was something that was supposed to be priceless. But the car rental, the tent rental, the sleeping bag rental, the mini fridge, the self-inflating air mattress with 4 inches of memory foam topper and adjustable AC, they add up. When we get to the campsite, there was a warning that said high bear activity, which is a little more character than I was going for. But the guy told us at the front, he's like, hey, it's okay, we have advice for when you see these bears. And they said, if they're black, fight back. And I was surprised, because that's the same advice that my uncle tried to give me about new neighbors. Guys, that's it. Thank you.
That's right, everybody.